Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Corey Hennessy. In this video, I'm going to do a full overview of GoHighLevel for 2026. A lot of new features have been made, and this is going to be the first video that I put out on the channel this year. I hope you had a really good New Year and a good Christmas, and you enjoyed time with your family over the holidays. In this video, I wanted to do a full breakdown of the overall platform, give you guys an insight into why I recommend GoHighLevel to all of our clients, why we use it for all of our clients, and why I think it makes sense if you are in the home services, home building, custom homes, mobile homes, anything really where you use a pipeline system. This is going to work, and we use it for our clients across all of the services that we manage in the agency. If you are looking to get GoHighLevel, you can click down below, use the affiliate link to actually go to the platform, or we've actually started to offer it at a much lower price of $49 per month where it's managed. So if you need help with GoHighLevel and you're unsure of actually managing all of this stuff, and you're looking for somebody to help you manage it, you can go and get it managed from Vantage. You'll work directly with me and my team, and we'll help you add any changes or answer any questions, and you'll be able to set yourself up, manage it, but at least you have a team to reach out to if you need support on the platform. So you can check that out down below too. But as I said, in this video, I'm going to go through everything. I'm going to explain all of the different features of the platform. So if you are an agency owner or a business, you might be able to get a good insight into the overall dashboard and the system. As you can see, I'm on a demo account, so we're on a completely new account. I have no demo data on this. We're going to be adding some stuff as we go, and as I go through the full dashboard, you're going to see all of the different elements. I would recommend GoHighLevel to almost every business, as it caters to almost everything. If you're doing sales, marketing, everything in between, it's going to allow you to manage stuff much easier. One of my new videos, I mentioned that if you're using Google Sheets to track all of your leads and all of your sales data, you're really going to fall behind in 2026. So I wanted to make this video to make sure that people understood that GoHighLevel is out there. There's a platform that can help you do a lot more and really optimize your marketing. We've worked with clients where they're spending thousands and they're still managing their sales process in Google Sheets, which is just very hard to track. You're not going to be able to tell where your money is coming from, so where your revenue is coming from, how much you're spending on platforms. So you really need to be using a platform like this. Now, to get started, we're looking at the dashboard. This gives you a quick overview of everything that's going on in your business. So it gives you quick cards that you can check. You can see any tasks that are assigned, any actions that need to be done by your team, the sources of your leads, the analytics, the Google Analytics, the Facebook Analytics. You're going to have all of your sales breakdowns, which pipelines are bringing you the most revenue, which opportunities are bringing you the most revenue, which sources are bringing you the most revenue. So this, I like to say, is when you have a coffee in the morning in your business, you should be checking your dashboard, and if your team or yourself is managing everything correctly, you should have all of your information, your quick overview here in the dashboard to really get to grips with what's happening in your business really quickly as you're having a coffee. So as we go through this, I'm going to go back to the dashboard. You're going to see what it looks like when it has a lot more information on there. The next one is conversations. Conversations is really cool. This is actually one of the best features that I find in GoHighLevel. This makes it really easy to manage all of your outbound messaging, your inbound messaging. Anytime somebody messages your business using Facebook, Instagram, even your Google business, your TikTok, any platform that you're putting out content or that you're using, once you have it linked to GoHighLevel, all of the inbound DMs, all of your messaging is going to come directly into the platform. So it makes it really easy to respond to inbound messages across social media, but also once you set up your phone system, so once you set up your phone numbers on the dashboard, you can actually reply to your SMS, you can reply to your email, you can even check all of the phone calls that are going through the system. So it really allows you to track everything in one. A lot of our clients would use external phone systems, and a lot of them have switched to GoHighLevel because you have all of that information within the conversations tab. So you can see who's responded to a lead in the past, which appointment setter or which team member has spoken to a lead, what they said. You can even listen back to the phone calls. You can check all of the text messages that have been sent within a conversation, and it really allows your team to work together much more smoothly. So you'll be able to see where the sales process was left last. So you'll know if you're taking over from, maybe there's a junior salesperson and the senior salesperson needs to step in, they can see what the junior person has sent via email, messaging, SMS, everything. So they can get an overview of what they need to speak about when they take that follow-up call. So it's a great feature on the platform, and it's something all of my clients use, so everybody in the agency uses. This is somewhere that you're going to be checking every single day. It's where you're going to be managing every single day. Take some of the most time as it's active passively engaging. Manual actions, this allows you to set manual actions within the conversations tab. So anything you need to do manually, like following up with a lead, or if somebody needs to check in with a lead, you can actually make it and assign it to a client using your automation. So you can assign it to a sales rep and they can follow up with a lead using phone calls, SMS, and any sort of tasks that need to be done. You can assign them to an employee or a staff member. Snippets, again, really cool feature. This is something we use every day. So if I click new snippet, we can add a text snippet or we can add an email snippet. What this allows you to do is essentially quickly reply to a lead. If you have the same message that you send all of the time for your first SMS or your first touch point, you can set a templated text that you can quickly click and send. Makes it really easy for your staff to follow up with a lot of text messages, or allows them to follow up with emails really easily. If we add a text one, we can enter the snippet names. We normally send an SMS one. So, hey, first name, it's going to automatically pull the contact's first name, so you don't have to fill it in. You completed a lead form for a company, whatever it is, John's Plumbing, something roofing, Florida Housing, whatever your company is, it's going to automatically pull it in also based on the company. Just trying to reach you to schedule a call. We normally send this because when you're contacting a lead, if you're calling from a phone number they don't know, if you send a text message and then you call, it's going to bypass that. And usually anyone that's using an iPhone or even an Android, it will say probably something. So if you say the company name, it will say probably John's Plumbing. So we always send a text message first, and then we start to do our outreach. It just lets the person know why you're trying to call them and what the number is calling them for. That's a really easy tip. Down the bottom, it actually gives you an approximate cost. The longer a text message is on any phone system, you'll see it's going to cost you more to send those text messages. So we always send really short SMS, and it allows you to keep the cost really low while being able to contact all of your leads. You've seen on the right hand side, you have an overview of that snippet, so you can actually see what the snippet will look like. You can add a URL. We don't normally send URLs, and you can add a phone number if you want to do a test and send it to your phone. So really cool feature. We use this across almost every client because in my business, in my agency, we do appointment setting for clients. So this is something we use every day, where we would have to contact the leads. We're sending out the SMS, we're sending out the emails, and we're trying to book that person in for an appointment, or we're trying to do a hot transfer for our clients. So in your business, you might have SMSs that you need to send every day. You can send them from here, and it's the same with the email. So if you add an email snippet, again, you fill it in, you fill in what you want the email to be, and this allows you to go in and manually click. You can click on the snippet you want to send. It automatically fills it. You hit send, and it goes straight away, meaning you don't have to write those out every time. It automates the process for you. Now, these are still somewhat manual. You can do a lot of this in automation, which I'll show you later. Trigger links. This is an option where you can make links that are going to trigger a specific action. So if you put these links within a email or within an SMS, you can see it allows you to put a link in the email SMS, which allows you to track specific customer actions and trigger events based on when the link is clicked. Now, what you'll use this for is your automation. So if a specific link is clicked, you can build an automation around that where you can automate. Maybe they get an ebook, maybe they get a guide, maybe they get a text message, whatever it is. You can put a trigger link where, hey John, click down below if you'd like to get our free buying guide. They click the link, automatically in the system it says, okay, John has clicked this link, let's send him out his buying guide. It's going to automatically send that and automate the process. So really cool feature too, and as you can see, a lot going on in the conversations. Next section we have is the calendars. So here you'll add multiple calendars, so you can have calendars for every single staff member. Most of our clients have one specific sales calendar, and that's what we're booking their calls into, or we're doing hot transfers directly to them. If we do a hot transfer, we still book them in. And depending on how your team operates or how big your team is, you might have multiple calendars, multiple people that can move bookings around. And when you have the calendars linked, it will automatically sync to your Google Calendar, your Outlook calendar, whatever you're using day to day. It will automatically sync to, not allowing customers to book in over any appointment you already have. So if you're already using a system that's booking calls and then you want to use GoHighLevel on top of that, it's not going to overlap. You're not going to have double bookings. You're not going to have any issues with double bookings. It's a really cool feature that's going to avoid any sort of confusion. As I mentioned, you're going to have multiple staff members. This will allow you to pretty much have multiple staff members using the dashboard. People can take different bookings. You can have a link for each individual calendar. If we went to the appointment list, let's add a dummy appointment really quick. So if I wanted to book somebody in, we can schedule somebody, let's say you, for example. We're going to say the YouTube viewer. I'm sorry I don't know your name. We're going to put the viewer for now. If you want to let me know your name, comment down below and I'll be able to know. So let me know what you like in the video and I'll make more of them. Let's put it as Pacific. We work with a lot of clients in California. So you'll see we have time slots. I haven't got this calendar fully set up, but these are the times available. I want to book somebody in, or I guess book you guys in for 7 a.m. I'm going to book that appointment. Let's put in a demo. So we're going to book that appointment. Appointment has been booked. Now you'll see we have the YouTube viewer, you guys booked in. We have their email, they're confirmed. We know the appointment time. We have the scheduled appointment and the name of the calendar. Now, if you have different sales reps, this could say Bob's calendar, John's calendar, Mary's calendar, Sabrina's calendar, whatever it is. It's going to have all of the calendars that are booked in. This gives you an overall list view of the bookings that you have in the system and who has those. You can also filter them using the advanced filters to find a specific team member's calendar, but overall you're going to have all of the appointments in a list. Now in the calendar view, if I go back, we should be able to put the calendar option. So this would have all of your staff members. So if you have multiple different staff members, these are default ones that we have. You can see you guys are booked in 9 a.m. for me, but 7 a.m. So you're booked in. Central time is the time that the account is set to. So it's going to show your account's time. So wherever you're located, even if the person is in specific time zone or Eastern, or if they're in London, it's going to come into your dashboard at the time zone that you set, but they can book themselves in at whatever time zone that they're using. So whatever time zone they're in, they can book in. Whatever time zone you're in, the calendar is going to update on your end. We can see the appointment. As you're using the system, this starts to get filled up. When we're working with clients, they have bookings every single day along here. They'll have multiple bookings, and then we're hot transferring calls directly to them. If we click on the opportunity, you'll see it's booked by me, Corey Hennessy. You have all of the information on the client. You have their phone number, their email. If somebody is booking these manually, they can add the location, they can add the appointment description, so add some more information about the appointment. Maybe somebody is looking for a house tour, maybe they're looking for a feasibility analysis, maybe they're looking for a proposal or a quote on roofing. Whatever it is, you can add that information in the calendar. To add the calendar itself, we're going into calendars. You'll see we have a lot of default ones. With GoHighLevel, you have a lot of templates, and when you work with us in Vantage, we have a lot of templates that we've built, so we set them up for clients. But if you're going directly to HighLevel, they have a bunch of templates that you can use. So this account was set up on the real estate services, so it has a bunch of real estate templates for calendars. So if we click into one of those, for property sourcing, you'll see property sourcing, take the next step towards financial success, property sourcing services. You can fill in all of your information. You can add a custom link. So if you want to add John's real estate, so you're going to have the link from GoHighLevel for John's real estate. You can make this a custom URL if you want. So you can add this to your business or relink to it. You can choose the team member. So if you want to have multiple team members on it, what color you want the meeting to be on Google, and then you can see you can add the logo. You can change your availability. The look busy feature is pretty cool. So if you want to look more busy and not allow people to look at your empty calendar and look like you're not busy, you can turn this on. You can choose a percentage. So if I want to remove 30% of the booking slots to make it look like 30% of the time I'm booked out, you can add this, and I can see why some people would add this. When we're working with clients, we never use it. We turn it off because we're manually booking people in, or we're booking people in. But depending on your business model, if you are an agent or if you are just starting out, maybe you don't have a lot of clients, maybe you're a new business, maybe you're a new service business doing roofing, you don't have a lot of clients, you can do this. You can turn it on. For service businesses, I don't recommend doing it. For agents or like real estate agents or like sole entrepreneurs or people that are entrepreneurs and you want to look busy, you could turn it on to make yourself look a little bit more busy. Some people might find it strange if they check your calendar and you have no bookings. So you can just say something like, it's not your public calendar. Your form, so you can make a specific form. So if you have specific questions before somebody can book in, you can make that form. I'm going to go through that later in the video too. The widget order, so which way the actual widget shows up on the page, and we're going to have a preview in a second. So you can choose the date and time selector, then the form. You could ask the questions first and then the date and time. I recommend leaving it as the default. You can pre-populate the fields, so if somebody has already completed a form, it will use the information it already has. Consent box, you're going to want to keep this on because you need to have this for your A2P, which is essentially what you need to have for your phone numbers to work, for your SMS to work. And it's really strict on having people consent to receiving your marketing, because a lot of people will use GoHighLevel for spam or mass marketing. So you need to have all of this and really make sure that you're collecting information the right way and you're not collecting it just uploading lead lists. If you do that, your phone number is going to get blacklisted. You're going to get set to spam. I never recommend doing that. Make sure you're collecting leads that have consented to receiving your marketing. Don't just go out and start text messaging or using SMS on a bunch of leads. Your phone number is just going to get blocked. Now, the confirmation page, you can leave it as default, which is a thank you message. If you are doing marketing, if you're doing Google ads, Facebook ads, and you're going to track your confirmation page, especially for Google, you're going to want to redirect them to a URL. That's going to allow you to track a specific URL, like something like booking confirmed, and you can use that as your conversion for the actual goal. So your goal on Google, you're going to use that as a redirect URL. And as I said, you could put in johnsroofing.com/booking confirmed. And what you're going to do is you're going to track that URL in Google, that if somebody lands on that page, it's a booking confirmed. And the only way they'll get to it is by filling in your booking or booking in through your advertising, and that's going to track as your goal. The benefit with with Pixel, so with Meta Pixel, so with Facebook advertising, when you're running ads, there is a thing called a pixel if you haven't done advertising before, and it's pretty much what tracks all of your traffic, all of your engagement with your company, and it allows you to feed that back to the algorithm so your advertising gets better. So that's a really basic example. If you want more information on it, comment down below. I'll make a video on it. I plan to make a lot more this year across the channel and hopefully hit 1K subscribers. If you want to help me, subscribe down below if you're finding this valuable. Metapixel, you put in your pixel ID and that's automatically going to feed back that there has been a booking. So really easy with Facebook. Automatically it's being fed back to your advertising, and you can set up ads for call bookings. So if you want people to just book calls, you can send them across to your landing page. They book in. All of that information is going to get fed back to your Facebook pixel and into your advertising. Auto confirm new appointments. Depending on your business, we normally leave this on because we are manually booking the people in, so they are confirming. If people are booking via email, or maybe they're booking via something a lot easier, maybe like a landing page that isn't checking multiple steps, or they're not following in or filling in a lot of forms, I highly recommend leaving this off and then having them confirm using an email. So follow up with an automated email where they click a link and then they need to confirm that they're actually booking in. That's how I would manage your booking confirmations, because otherwise you're going to have a lot of no-shows from people that they're booking in, but they're not actually booking in. They're not spending the time to book in the right way. Payments, if you want to, using the platform, you can accept payments. And then with the notifications, you have cancellations, reschedules, reminders, follow-ups, appointment booked, unconfirmed, and confirmed. Now, most of the time, we mainly set up the appointment booked, so you can send an email to the contact, to your sales team, to the user that's assigned to it. You can do it in app, so if you're on the platform, you'll see the booking come in, and in the app itself. So you download the GoHighLevel app, you can see all of those bookings come in the app. So when you're on your phone, or if you have your phone in your pocket, you can actually see the push notifications that you have bookings, that you have appointments, and everything's coming to the one place. You can pick and choose what you turn on. I recommend putting on the unconfirmed, the confirmed, the cancellations, the reschedules. The reminder and the follow-up you probably don't need. You can kind of choose what you want to have on, or you could just turn on everything. Now, allow Google Outlook to send invitation update attendees. I recommend turning that on. It means if you're using a Google email, it will send the invitations within Google, and not just an email. It's actually going to send the invitation via Google too. So it's a lot more, I guess, trustworthy for the client, or a lot more trustworthy for the contact that you're sending the booking. Assign contacts to their respective service team members. So once the contact has been booked in, it's assigned to that sales rep. So when you go to the contact on the dashboard, it's going to be assigned to your staff member for the future. So you'll know if you're running a sales team, or maybe you're running an outreach team, and it's commission based, that sales rep has booked that person in, so they own the commission, or they're running the deal. Allow people to reschedule the appointment. You can choose how long before they're allowed, and how long before they're allowed to cancel. Customization, you can go in, you can change all of the colors, all of the information on the title. You can turn off certain information on the booking. And then rooms and equipment, You'll only need this if you are doing a physical location. Maybe you're booking people in for a gym, or maybe you're using it for a meeting room. This will allow you to also set up a calendar. If you have an internal meeting room in your office, you can actually allow people to book in those rooms or allow people to book in the equipment. And this could be used by the internal staff. So it's actually pretty cool if you have a business that has an office location. You can allow people to book in for rooms that they need to use, especially now that people are doing a lot more calls. You can have a call room, people need to book their time slots in, and they can use those rooms. So if we click here, we can actually go to the preview. Once you have it made, you would have your information filled in. People can pick and choose. You can choose how many days you want to leave open, and people can click, fill in their information, fill in their details, and once they hit schedule, it's going to come into your dashboard. You can put these calendars over your website. You can put them on your social media. You can put the links wherever you need. If you make calendars for specific sales reps, they can have their own link, so they can put them in their bio. If you're in real estate and you have a brokerage and you have multiple different sales reps or sales agents, they can all have their own bookings, and then you can see who's booking those clients in. So the calendars are really comprehensive. It's a really cool feature, and straight away allows you to get rid of platforms like Calendly and save that cost. So if you put the cost of Calendly or any other booking software off of your GoHighLevel, you already have it inside the dashboard. You don't need to use that anymore. Next up, we have the contacts. So we have the contact section, which allows you to upload all your leads. Like any CRM, this is going to automatically collect your leads from your forms, your surveys, your social media, your emails, whatever kind of touch points you have with leads. They're going to be automatically populated within your dashboard. So they're automatically going to be put into the dashboard itself, and you're going to collect all of that information into your CRM. This is probably the most popular, most important feature for any business, is actually collecting your leads in the correct place, not keeping them on a Google sheet or a spreadsheet, and instead having them somewhere that's easy to access, easy for your team to all share information on the lead, keep track of the flow, and be allowed to do longer marketing or follow-up marketing to your leads. So in here, you have a few options. You can add a contact. It allows you to quickly add a contact. You can add all of your information. If they have any do not disturb turned on, so maybe somebody didn't opt in for email, you can click it, make sure that they don't get any of your emails. You can do it for text message, make sure they don't get any text messages, or your calls and voicemails, or you can select everything. Now, if we go across, we have bulk actions. This allows you to update contacts in bulk. So if you want to move all of your contacts from a specific pipeline in bulk, you can do it in here. If you want to send them all a text message, it's going to do it in here. And what this is kind of a report. So it keeps track of all of your bulk actions. If you have a sales team and you're all sending out different bulk actions, you can actually see who actioned that. So maybe somebody made a mistake and you need to check it. In here, you can see all of those bulk actions, and it will allow you to reverse your steps or maybe undo what you did. If you sent bulk emails or SMS, you're not going to be able to undo that, but you'll be able to keep track of mistakes and just know what went wrong or what happened. And if a bulk action failed, it will also report in here, so you'll be able to see the failed bulk actions, the successful ones, and you'll be able to see all of that information in real time using the bulk actions kind of section. Now, restore contacts. This is if any contacts were deleted. So if a contact has been deleted, you can restore it. Pretty simple. Tasks. These are tasks that anyone has set on a contact. So I'll show more of this in the future, but you'll see I did a demo one. So on David's contact, I added a task where somebody needs to follow up. Now, as you're using the CRM, this should be really populated. You should have a lot of tasks on leads. If you're using the CRM the correct way and you have sales reps or you're doing it yourself, you should be setting tasks on every single lead at every single stage. You can automate to add tasks to specific leads, but in here you should be setting tasks that you need to follow up via email. Maybe somebody asks you to call back in a month. Maybe somebody said send them a text message. Somebody asked for a leaflet. Somebody's waiting on a proposal. All of this you can set as a task, and then when you check each day, you're going to see what you need to do. Or if you have a team, they're going to be able to see what they need to do. So all of the tasks that they need to do each day. And if you have a manager or if you're managing it, you can set all of those tasks for your team, or you can assign a task to a team member, and they're going to know what they need to do or what they need to have done by end of day. So it's a really cool feature. It's something that we use every single day in the agency. We do a lot of follow-up, a lot of outreach to leads, and we use this every single day. And anyone that uses the platform would use it every single day too. If not, you're losing out on a really big feature of the platform. Companies, if you do B2B, you can put the company on a contact. So if you add a company on the contact, you're going to have it here. You can use this for a lot of different reasons. Maybe you have wholesalers, maybe you have suppliers. If you're a construction business, maybe you have your concrete supplier, maybe you have a cement supplier, whatever it is, you can put them all in here, and then your team can get the full list of companies that you work with. They're going to have their phone number, their email, their contacts. You can set a contact for the actual company. So I may as well click company, but we can put in a bunch of information on that supplier or on that company. And it means if your team needs to contact a supplier or a company that you work with, they have all of that information. They know what they need to speak about with that lead by putting in the description. Maybe it's John, we work with in USA Cement, ask for his contact. So whoever in your team calls his phone number, they know, okay, they're always looking for John. John's the person that they deal with, and that's who they need to speak to. And then they can save that company and put it in your company list. So this is a really good feature. A lot of our home builders and construction, manufactured home, mobile home clients, they all use this category to keep track of suppliers and contractors specifically. So when they sell an ADU or if they sell a tiny home, they can contact that construction company or that contractor and get it set up for delivery for the client or get the build started. Smart lists. So as you start to use the contacts, you're going to have smart lists, and this just allows you to save multiple leads into specific lists. So if you have a newsletter list, maybe you have a buying guide list, maybe you have your supplier list, whatever your smart lists are, you can categorize them. And what that allows you to do is when you're doing marketing, if you're doing actions, you have them all categorized. So maybe for your suppliers for Christmas, you would have sent out a happy holidays email. You can send that specifically to your suppliers and even include a gift voucher or maybe something that your suppliers can get that you want to give them. For any of your clients, you can send out a different email for all the newsletter subscribers if you want to do a contact list. So a contact list wide email, you can select that also and send that out to all of your contacts in the dashboard for maybe your general marketing or your marketing follow-ups. So really cool feature too. You will use this a lot in the dashboard as you add more leads. When you have a small amount of leads, it's not a big deal, and by small I mean maybe like 100 to 500 leads. When you start to get over 1,000 leads to 10,000 leads and higher, you're going to start to use smart lists because it allows you to really break apart the different types of leads that you're contacting. And if you're doing the correct type of marketing, you want to make sure that you have all of your leads separated by intent, all of your suppliers, everything in your CRM, you're really managing the right way. Because with your follow-up, especially on the intent side, you should be sending high intent emails to your high intent people. So people that maybe already have proposals, people that you know are really close to the finish line, you just need to get them over the edge. You should be sending them completely different emails to what you're sending your low intent people or your people that just signed up for the buying guide, as they're not at the same finish line distance. They're not ready to purchase. They're just interested in your brand, and you still need to warm them up, get them used to your brand before they make a decision. So that's how the contacts work. Opportunities is a really, really important section in high level. This is what you're going to use every single day. If you use Pipedrive, if you use HubSpot, this is what you're going to be switching across to. So this is something that you're going to need to really understand and know how to operate. So hopefully I explain it pretty well. If there's anything that I miss in this section that you'd like me to answer in the comments, comment down below. I'm happy to help, or we can get on a call and I'll help you with it also. So your opportunities is essentially your pipelines. You can have multiple different pipelines. So in this demo, I have a sales pipeline, and we have different stages along, like any Kanban board or any board that you've seen in a pipeline. You're going to have all of your stages, and you can drag and drop your leads really easily around. GoHighLevel has one of the easiest UIs for people to use. We've had people join us that have never used a CRM, and they find it really easy to use the GoHighLevel one. Obviously, with my YouTube channel, I give that to a lot of clients to learn how to use the dashboard itself, and they get up to speed really quickly. Now, in the pipelines, as I mentioned, you can have multiple pipelines. How you do that is clicking on the pipeline section, and we can add a new one. We're going to call it roofing pipeline. This is just an example. We're going to do a roofing pipeline. I can hit create. You'll see all of the stages. So we have the pipeline name, and if I go back, we see the roofing pipeline, and it has less stages. Now, if we want to add more stages to a pipeline, we click edit, and in here we can click add stage, and all we need to do is, let's add a follow-up stage. We're going to hit save. Now in the opportunities tab, we have that new stage. So that's been added in. So based on your business and based on how you operate, you're probably going to have multiple pipelines, and you're going to have different sections to what we use for clients. The pipeline system that we use for what we do with appointment setting and contacting leads and operating the full marketing for our clients, we normally collect new leads. This would be from Facebook, Instagram advertising, Google advertising. That's going to come into the new lead section. We then do a day 1 call, SMS, and email. Day 2 call, SMS, and email. And then day 3 to 5 we automate. So we use an automation to send out automated messaging to those leads. Then day 6, they automatically move across. We don't have to manually move them. They automatically move to day 6. And in there we do the same call, SMS, and email. And if the appointment setters have not got through to the lead, we're going to move them to a section called long-term nurture. Now, once we move them to LTN or long-term nurture, we're going to automate the follow-up using email, SMS, any newsletters, any monthly kind of outreach we do. We will contact the long-term nurture, but it will be on a monthly time frame or even every 3 months, because those leads have essentially gone cold, or they're just not interested at the moment, or they haven't responded to our calls or emails or texts. So they would just get moved to long-term nurture. They're not that they're never going to purchase from us again, but they're just clearly showing they have no intent at the moment. And when they do show intent, we'll move them back into the pipeline using an automation. So if they reply to an email or an SMS, we will then move them back to the pipeline under the interested section, and then the sales team can follow up again and try to book them in. Now, if they have spoken to one of the leads within the 6-day time frame, they can move them to interested. They're going to move that lead to interested, and then they're going to move them to needs follow-up. So maybe they spoke to them, but they need to follow up more. And this could be the internal sales team. So when we work with a client, we would then hand it over to the sales team as we book a call. So if we book a call into the client's calendar, they take it over from that point onwards, and they can manage the deal. And maybe they have a different pipeline for their sales system. Maybe they need to do the feasibility analysis, the sales proposal for a tiny home or an ADU or a mobile home. They need to check city limits. Whatever their specific structure is, they're going to add that as a pipeline, and they can then do the follow-up and do all the procedures that they need to do for that client. So if we wanted to add a new lead to the system, it's really easy. We can actually import bulk leads. So if you already have opportunities, or if you're moving from a different CRM like HubSpot or Pipedrive, like many of our clients, we would import those leads and we would move them around to where they need to be. If we go to add an opportunity, we can go ahead and start to make a opportunity. So we can build out a contact. So if I do Corey H, we can add myself as a new one. We're going to do CoreyH@gmail.com. We can put in my phone number. We can put in the opportunity name. Let's just put in, we have the name, we have the pipeline that we want to put them in. So as you can see, we have all of the different pipeline options, the stage that we want to start the lead at. So maybe this lead is already warm. Maybe we want to put him in the interested category. We put him in interested. These are your statuses. So you'll always have open, lost, won, or abandoned. So this allows you to keep track of the leads that are still active, the ones that are lost, so completely not interested. One obviously means that they've been won, and when you update it to a one lead, it's going to show in the dashboard that we looked at the beginning of the video. It's going to show the revenue of the company. So every lead that you've marked as one or in a specific stage, it's going to show that revenue in that pipeline. So these are the kind of small changes you need to make sure that you're doing in your business to really make the most of the tracking. If the team is not updating opportunities, or if you're not updating your contacts, you're not updating the opportunities overall, a lot of the tracking is not going to make sense, or it's just not going to be accurate. So you need to make sure you're putting in all the accurate information into the CRM to really make the most of it. Let's put this one as open. The opportunity value, this is what is tracked on the dashboard. So let's say we've sent a proposal for $124,000 for a tiny home. The owner we can assign to a staff member. So if you have staff members on your account, you can assign that. Followers, so maybe you have an owner of the deal, so a sales rep that is the owner, but a follower could be a manager that needs to keep track of the deal. So if you want to put followers on this, you can add managers, maybe people that are above the owner, so above the sales rep. You can add those people as followers, and they're going to see all the updates on that lead. business name. So if it's a B2B lead, again, you can put in that actual company. So if it's a business, you can put it in. For most of our clients, since it's B2C, they're not really using the business name category. Opportunity source, you can put in where the lead came from. So if you're using marketing like Facebook or Google, you can use UTM tags to automatically fill this section. But if not, and it's not automatically filling, maybe you don't have it set up, you can just add in the source. So maybe this person came from Facebook. And tags are super important. So you're going to see you can add a lot of different tags to your CRM, and you can use these for sending out specific emails to people that have tags, sending out text messages to people that have specific tags. Maybe you want to do a bulk change like we looked at earlier. So maybe we want to move all of the people with a specific tag to a new section in the pipeline. We want to add a tag to specific people. We can do that in the bulk option too. But using tags, you can do a lot of automation. So if a tag is added to somebody, you can add them to an automation and send them out specific messaging or specific tasks that need to be done. So it's super important that you use these. So let's say this person was their first appointment, they want to do an open house visit and they want to do an open house viewing. We can add those leads, we can hit create, it's going to save. And now if we go back, that'll pop up now in a second. But once that comes in, as you can see, now we know the source that it came from, the opportunity value. We can see the tags that are on the lead. Inside the opportunities, you can call the lead directly. You can click call. It's going to call the lead instantly. If I want to send a text message or an email, I can go to the conversations. If I want to add a note, I can add a note. If you want to add a task, we can add a task or add an appointment. So really easy. You have those quick access options. If you want to have more information on this section, you go to manage fields. You have all of the different options. You can even make them more compact. You can unlabel them, default you can have as the section. That's what we use. And if you get rid of some of the options here, like maybe you don't have a business name because it's all B2B, it's all B2C, you can actually put in created on, which is something that we put on, and it's going to allow you to see when that lead came in. So this is really important because you don't want leads to be sitting in the pipeline for too long. I recommend turning on that metric, keeping track of when the lead came in and how long they've been in the pipeline. This will also allow you to track your sales timeline, so how long it's taking you to get a sale, and with that you can track your cost per sale and your other sales metrics overall. So that's usually how our clients look, how our leads look, is exactly like this, with more notes, more tags, and more tasks overall. And as you start to use the CRM, you're going to be adding a lot more information. So that's the opportunities tab. As you see, when you click and drag, it's super easy. You can drag down below to do the lost, abandoned, and underneath my webcam, you can do one. But that's pretty much it. If we move them across, we could even add a second pipeline. If I want to move this lead to a different pipeline, I can just click and I can move it to the sales pipeline and maybe proposal sent. So if I click that and update, it's going to go to the sales pipeline now. And we can see that Corey now has the $124,000 proposal sent. So in your business, these would be the leads that you're spending the most time looking at. Payment section, we don't really use in the business, but this allows you to pretty much send invoices. You can do all of your payments through the CRM. So if you want to move away from a invoicing software and use GoHighLevel, it has templates for your invoices. So you can click new template. It's going to give you the default template, so you can see it has all the default information that we put in. But as you add stuff to your template, it's going to add all of the stuff that's going to be reoccurring. So stuff that you send all of the time, all of the information that you're going to use all of the time, you can update in here, and you can send your invoices directly through the platform. Now this is linked to Stripe, so it's going to use the same fees as Stripe, so you're going to have the same fees overall. And you can choose the payment gateway. As I said, we recommend Stripe, but it does have a lot of different options like Square, NMI, you have PayPal. So whichever one works for you. As I said, I recommend Stripe. Stripe was made by two Irish guys, so I have to represent my people. But you'll see all the invoices, you can send them from here, and it could be a cool feature for you if you want to move away from what you use. A cool feature also by doing it inside of here is the estimates. So if you're doing proposals or an estimate, you can send it from the dashboard, and doing your invoicing through the dashboard, you can automate it. So as you're using the dashboard, as you use people, move people to a specific pipeline, you can then set an automation to automatically send a specific invoice. So if you have a cost for a feasibility analysis, that's $1,000, or maybe you have a meeting cost or an in-person visit cost or a call out charge, you can automatically send that invoice as your team moves it to that section. So if somebody moves them to a call out charge for plumbing, they automatically get sent your invoice for that charge. If it's $50, if it's $100, they get sent the invoice. Once the invoice is paid, you can then use that trigger, that the fact that the invoice has been paid, to then trigger something else. So you can move that lead to home visit scheduled and or call out scheduled, and that's when your plumbing team or your roofing team have to go and visit that property. So it's really cool. The automation from doing your payments within the platform, it opens up a lot of different stuff that you can't do if you're using an external invoicing software. Documents and contracts, this is really cool if you are a real estate agent, or even if you are a business that just uses documents or contracts that you need signed. So if you need people to sign a contract before you start working with them, you can build out your contracts in here. There's templates again. GoHighLevel is crazy good for the amount of templates and free stuff that you get. So you can get a template, you can fill it in with all of your information, you can use ChatGPT to help you out, and it's going to save those templates. So every time you're working with a new business or a new client, you can send out those contracts and the documents, get them signed, and get it sent back in. Orders, this will just keep track of stuff that was paid for. So any invoices, any estimates that were sent out and were paid for, you're going to see them in here. You'll have the abandoned checkout, so if somebody clicked on it and never paid. Subscriptions, if you're using subscriptions, so if you have order forms as it says and people pay and they subscribe to something, it's going to keep track of all of the different subscriptions. Payment links is really cool, so you can make a payment link for a specific amount. If we click create a new one, we can put in the product, we can put in all of the information, require the customer to add a phone number, collect the address, allow coupon codes, payments, and everything else that you need to put in. So that's going to allow people to pay directly. So if you're speaking to a lead, or if you're speaking to somebody and they're struggling to find something to pay, you can send this directly to them. So you can send a payment link and they can pay directly within the link itself. Transactions, so in the transactions tab, again, this will just show all of the transactions, all the payments across the whole platform. Any payments you've taken, they're going to show up here. Products, if you have specific products for your business, you can add them in this section. Collections is where you can categorize the products. So all of the different products you have, you can add them in. Your inventory, so this would be much better for a gym or maybe a business that has inventory, but for most of the businesses we work with, builders, home services, they're never going to have inventory that they sell, unless it's maybe like an ebook that someone can purchase, but we would set that up in a different way. Coupons, again, if you create a coupon, it can be used on the payment links, it can be used on your products, so you can add those here and allow people to get a discount on a specific ebook or feasibility analysis, whatever it is. Your settings, again, these are all just your payment settings, so taxes, notifications, shipping and delivery, shipping origin, subscriptions, miscellaneous charges, link customization. So really you can start to customize this so your invoices are coming branded. So again, you could change the, if it was John's Roofing, you can do John's Roof. So when people get an invoice and it comes in the email or when they pay, it's going to show up as John Roof on their statement, and it makes it a lot more, I guess, professional looking. So this is the stuff that you can spend time on just tweaking and making it a lot better for your business. And again, the integrations we already looked at, but you have a lot more that you can go to and a lot more payment integrations. So that is the payment section. Again, if you have any questions on this, feel free to comment down below. And if you're enjoying this so far, this is a pretty long video. I think it's going to be over 1 hour long. But if you watch this far, I'd appreciate if you could subscribe, leave a like, and comment down below. And yeah, hopefully we hit 1,000 subscribers this year as I create a lot more of these videos. Next up, we have AI agents. So AI agents is a super popular, this is something that's really blowing up on TikTok and social media, is AI agents, and it's built into GoHighLevel. So instead of paying for another platform, you have it inside the platform itself. You have voice AI, which we don't really use. We use trained appointment setters in my business, in my agency for clients. But if you want to use voice AI, which you can do, which essentially allows you to have it so if somebody calls a specific phone number, they will speak to an AI and it can answer basic questions or book appointments. So it's really good if you have a lot of volume and you just don't have the sales team to manage those calls. We see a lot of brokerages using this where Maybe a client just wants to call to book in with somebody, or they want to call to get information on a property. You can allow people to call. The AI can answer basic questions, basic information, and it's going to allow them to book in. So it's going to allow them to book into your business and book a call with somebody in your team, or even be transferred across to your team itself. So you can test and talk to the agent. So once you build the agent and speak to it, it is trained on your company. It's trained on the information you give it, any information that you give it, and basically configure it to use. So you can say answer specific questions, don't answer specific questions. Whatever you add to it, you can then call it and test it, and you can assign a specific phone number. So if you give it a specific line, you can use that in specific marketing, or you can put it everywhere. Whatever your main line is, you can assign it to the AI, and then when people call, they're going to speak to the AI agent, and they're going to be able to basically speak to an AI and ask questions. The AI will answer questions and book them in for a call, or do something based on what you give the AI instruction to do. So if it's just answering questions, they will do that. If it's booking calls, they will do that too. Now, conversation AI, we use this a lot. Conversational AI allows you to do live chat conversation, allows you to do text messaging, allows you to follow up with any leads that inquire to your business. We use this across all of our clients. It's probably one of the best features that we've added for 24/7 maintenance. This allows you to constantly reply to any leads that are speaking to your business. So if somebody reaches out through a live chat, which I'll be showing you how to set up too in this video, once somebody reaches out through your live chat on your website, this will automatically respond. It will answer questions, and it will help the person book a call. It can also just help them get information on your business. It's a really cool feature. It responds to everything in your conversations tab also. So any SMSs that come into your business, any emails, any DMs on any social platform, your conversation AI can actually reply to all of those. This saves business owners a lot of time, like a lot of time, because a lot of clients that we speak to, they're always dealing with messages, or more often than not, they're just not replying because they don't have time. We see this across so many clients where when we take over the accounts, we can see that they're not replying to social media messaging for days on end. And if that's happening, you might be busy, but you're losing out on a lot of money by not doing that. So the biggest feature I would recommend when you do get high level, as I said, you can click the link down below and go across to high level and get a free trial, or you can click below and get managed high level with us using the agency link down below. But whichever you choose to do, I highly recommend setting up conversational AI. It's going to really save you a lot of time, and the quality is insanely good. I'm not overly excited on the voice AI for yet, but I think by next year it's probably going to be insanely good. But the conversational AI is really good right now. You can train it really well. You can give it as much information on your website, your business, and even if it makes a mistake, you can then tell it that this was a bad response. This is what I want you to do in future. As you train it, it's going to get much better on your business. Highly recommend setting that up. Conversational AI itself, you'll have all of the stats on the AI. So this is something new, but you have all of the stats on how many contacts it spoke to, how many appointments it's booked, how many triggers it's done, and how much time it saved you. So it gives you a full overview of what the AI is doing. And as you build it out, if we go to, let's click create a bot. So in here, you can see we have all of the different options. The most popular one is the general Q&A. So just general information on your business. The one that we use the most is the appointment booking. So if we click appointment booking, click continue. In here, we're able to choose the channels that it's going to operate on. We're going to be able to look at the type that it's going to do. So is it going to respond to leads automatically? You would use autopilot. If it uses suggestive, which means the lead has to actually interact, or it needs to click on a prompt before it's going to step in and start replying, you can turn on suggestive, or you can just turn it off. So when you're using it, you give it all of the information. I have a video that goes more in depth on this, so I'd recommend going to check out that video if you want to see how to set up the full conversation AI. But it is something that I recommend to everybody to use. The knowledge base, you give it as much information as possible. This will train both the AIs. So filling in your knowledge base is super important. You can put in all the information on your business, all the FAQs that it needs. And the templates, you have a bunch of templates. This is for the voice AI. You have templates for all-in-one receptionist, self-selling voice AI agents, so people that are trying to sell for you. All-in-one, you have a pet one. So this is for insurance. So if you do pet insurance, you can put this in. But a lot of different templates, and over time, as I said, the voice is just going to get better and better. We don't use it right now, but depending on your business, this could be a game changer, especially for real estate. If people are asking very generic questions, you can add this to your business and see a huge difference. Next up, we have the marketing tab. So a lot of cool features are in the marketing tab. It's another reason why a lot of people would buy GoHighLevel in the first place. You have a social planner. This allows you to schedule your content across all of the different platforms. So you can schedule on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, a Google business profile, which people never post on. So it allows you to make sure that you're posting everywhere at once. It saves you a lot of time. So if you're still posting manually, you can go on here, you can schedule your content across every platform. Emails, this allows you to send your email marketing. So it handles doing your long-term nurture emails that we went over. It handles sending out mass emails, any follow-up emails you can do from here. And any kind of campaigns, any marketing campaigns, you're going to run through this section. Snippets, we already went through at the beginning of the video, but allows you to add snippets for email and SMS. Countdown timers, if you want to do a sale or if you want to put a countdown timer, you can build in here and you can embed it onto a page. Trigger links, again, we already went through. Affiliate manager, this is something that's really cool, and some of our clients are actually using it a lot more now, but it allows you to create an affiliate campaign. You can share a link with specific people that maybe promote your business. If it's a social media influencer, maybe if you're in real estate, you have different agents or people that are promoting your business, you can give them a link, and based on that link click, the platform can track who's coming in, where they came from, and who comes into the business. If somebody makes a purchase or a sale, you can automatically pay that person out. So you don't need to physically go in and pay the people out. The dashboard itself can actually do that. So it can pay the person out in the dashboard automatically, or you can set it to manual and you need to review it and then pay them out. So it's a really cool system. This is something that they've been building out, as GoHighLevel has its own affiliate system. The link down below that I use is an affiliate link that we use. So they're adding it to the dashboard for people to use, which I think is really cool. Brand boards, this is a cool feature. You can add now your full kit, so your logos, your colors, your brand voice, everything you use. And anytime you're building within the platform, you can just quickly grab your colors, you can grab your logos, and everything that you use really easily. Also, when you're using templates, you can automatically apply the brand board. So if you're making emails, you can apply your brand board and it's going to have all of your colors, your logos, and everything really quickly. Ad manager, this is something that you need to activate. I think it's a small fee to turn it on, but this allows you to run your ads within the platform. It used to just be Facebook. I'm pretty sure they've added Google now too. So you can run all of your ads within the platform and you're able to track all of that in the reporting tab. So you're able to see all of your ads. It has templates. It has really easy to use advertising for clicks and traffic. Do I recommend people use this? I think if you are a solo entrepreneur, if you're a small business owner and you have a small budget and you don't really understand advertising or can't work with an agency, I recommend using this. And while you're using this, try and watch some videos, maybe even my own videos on how to set up Facebook ads, how to set up Google ads within the platform itself, because using the platform, you're always going to be a step ahead when it comes to updates, algorithm, whatever you're doing in the platform. You're going to get support from those teams too. And to even use the ad manager, you're going to need to link your Facebook ads and your Google ads platform. So if you're starting out, as I said, use this ad manager. It's going to be much easier and it has those templates. But if you are looking to really up your game or up your level with your marketing, use the individual platforms. So use the TikTok ad manager, use the Facebook ad manager, use the Google ad manager. Do it all within the platforms themselves. Next up, we have automation. So automation is a super important feature on GoHighLevel. So this allows you to automate a lot of the different tasks in your business. So we'll see, we have a few examples here. Let's go into lead revival. So it's going to open up the automation. And as I mentioned, this allows you to pretty much do any automation you can think of. So it's really a sandbox. This is where some of our clients can sit for hours. If we're setting up the automations, we go through it with the clients. But sometimes if you want to set up your own, or maybe if you're setting up your own automation, you can spend hours in here. You can figure out really cool ways to set up an automation. So an automation will always start with a trigger. So you're going to have a trigger like a contact tag, like I mentioned. So if the tag was added for a buyer lead revival, this is going to start this process. And this one is really going to send an SMS. It's then going to wait 10 days. It's going to send an SMS. It's going to wait 25 days. It's actually waiting for those days. So on day 10, it's going to send the next text. On day 25, it sends text 3. On day 65, text 4. Day 115, text 5. So this is trying to revive the lead itself. And you can add a bunch of triggers. So you can add a bunch of different triggers like a birthday reminder. Maybe you want to send a text message every time it is a contact's birthday, or an email, or any other tasks such as replying to a form, replying to an email, replying to a lead, whatever it is. You can use that as a trigger, and then you can build out an automation. So if we click below, we can do send them an email, send them a text message, update something in Slack, call the person, message them on the messenger, manual action to SMS. So you have a lot of different features that you can do within the dashboard to really contact your leads and follow up with your leads. And this allows you to automate a lot of that stuff. You would have seen really quickly there is also conditional formatting. So if else, so if somebody does something and then, so if they reply yes or if they reply no, you can send different emails back. If they do a specific task, you can use that to then send them to a specific one. So you can split them off into different sections or different categories based on what they're doing. And it's going to allow you to really do a lot of different automations. Now, we use automations for moving leads, for sending emails, for sending text messages. When somebody fills in a advertisement, for example, where they want a buying guide, we can accept the lead. We can then do an automation where the lead gets tagged as the buying guide. We then send them the email with the buying guide. They then have to click the link in the email. Once they click the link, we know that they've opened the email and we have the real email. So we're collecting real information, we're collecting real data. They're getting the buying guide, and we can automate that whole process. And then in the future, we can see all of that information to then move them along the pipeline. So I have a video on automations in more depth. If you want more information, or if there's something that you're stuck on with this, comment down below. As I mentioned, I'm happy to help anyone with any questions that you have. And if we did create a new one, I'll quickly show you. You have templates for everything. So you have templates for appointments, communication, lead nurture, and I recommend using these and then just tweaking them to the best format for what your business does. So this will allow you to edit all of your automations and really optimize them for your business. The next section we have is the site section. So in here, you're going to use for funnels. So building out landing pages, you can build out landing pages directly within your funnels. So if I did templates, we'll see these are all landing page templates that we can use. So we can collect lead forms, we can collect information, collect surveys, all using a landing page, and we can link those to our domains. You have templates. It probably takes 10 to 20 minutes to build out a full landing page using GoHighLevel. Websites, you can build your whole website in GoHighLevel. So if you're using WordPress, if you're using Squarespace, you can use GoHighLevel. You can build everything within the platform, and it's a drag and drop builder. Again, there's templates for over 1,000 websites, so you can build your whole website in here using a template, and that's included in the cost. There's no extra cost on the platform. Stores is something that's new, so you'll actually see it's trying to onboard me, but in the store section, you can fill in all of your information, and you're going to be able to sell products. So if you sell a guide, or if you sell a specific product in your business, maybe you sell a bucket in a construction company, you can sell that bucket online for $2. You can put it here as a product, and you can have a link for it. So it allows you to have a full store. Webinar funnels, this allows you to create a webinar funnel. So collecting registrations for webinars, if you do consultancy, or if you do webinars or any sort of training, you can do that inside the platform. Analytics, this will track all of your website traffic, all of your funnel traffic, all of your form traffic, anything that's collecting online traffic, you're going to be able to see within this section. So it's really cool. When you have it up and running, you'll be able to see all of your page views, all of your opt-ins, and you'll see you can go between your QR codes. So you can set up QR codes, your websites, your webinars, your blogs, everything within this site section you can track individually, and you can see how each one is performing. The blog section, again, you can post blogs. If you have your site built, it's going to then link to your blog, so it's going to automatically pull them in. WordPress, this just allows you to link your GoHighLevel with WordPress, so you can activate WordPress, host it, and then link it directly to your GoHighLevel. Your client portal, so this allows clients to log in. If you choose to have a client portal activated, they can basically log in, they can see different information and get that within the platform. Your form builder, I've made videos on this, so if you want to see more information on the forms or the surveys, you can go to them. But again, there's a bunch of templates where you can create a form. You can put these on your website, you can put them on a landing page, you can put them on your social media, you can link to them, and it's going to allow you to collect information. When somebody fills in any form that you make, it's going to automatically collect all of that information into GoHighLevel. So you're going to have all of that information in GoHighLevel for you to use. Surveys and quizzes. So surveys, Again, you can build, there's templates. Quizzes, again, you can create a quiz. So maybe you want to send a long-term nurture email that quizzes people based on how their intent is. Are they still looking for a home? Are they just browsing? Whereabouts are they looking to buy that home? What's their budget? You can build a quiz around that and you can send it out, and you're going to be able to see which contacts have higher intent than your other contacts. Chat widget, you can build a chat widget. This is what I mentioned earlier. If we actually build one now, you're going to see all in one. So you can put this across all your platforms, SMS and email. So collect details and follow up on email through SMS and email. Live chat, this is the one that we use. You can put it on your website, and when people start to engage with it, they can fill in a form, speak to your team, and it replaces any live chat software that you use. Facebook chat, redirect people to Facebook or Messenger. Instagram chat, WhatsApp chat, and voice AI. We usually use the all-in-one, or we use the live chat. That's pretty much what we use. We don't use any individual ones. But if you only want to manage your Instagram chat, you can do that. You can just have one for your Instagram chat. If you just want to manage your Facebook, you can do it, or you can set them up individually across each platform. QR codes, this is really good if you have signage, or if you have vehicles on the road, or if you have business cards. You can build a QR code, you can link it to a website or a platform, and it's going to allow you to track all of the scans of the QR code, all the people that came from the QR code, and even add the tag to the contact when they scan the QR code. So it allows you to put these across trade booths or at shows that you're at, and really track any of the activity on a QR code. And like I said, with the analytics, this section is really useful. So this basically allows you to get rid of a lot of the operational cost of a business, because you can replace your landing pages, your websites, your stores, your WordPress, your client portal, your surveys, quizzes, QR codes. It replaces all of that cost within the one cost that you're paying for HighLevel. So this is worth the cost of HighLevel on its own, in my opinion, even after all the other sections that we just went through. Next up, we have the membership section. So in the membership, next up we have the membership section. So in here, you're going to have all of the different memberships that people can join. This is good if you have a course or if you run a community. We don't really operate within this, so I won't go in it too much. But if you do want to have a course or a community, this is the section that you would use, and you can get your members to join, and you can build out the full course within HighLevel and host it all. So this replaces the cost of a platform like Skool and allows you to have it all in one place. Media storage, this is where all of your images, your videos, any stuff that you upload to the dashboard for your email campaigns, videos, content that gets scheduled, it's all saved within your HighLevel. And as far as I know, I don't think there is a limit on the storage. There probably is, but we've never reached it across any client account that we have. So I don't think either it's super high, or I don't think there is a limit, which is crazy. I guess HighLevel is just making so much money from everybody using it that they don't cap it. But here is where you'll be able to find all of that content, and it also means all of your team can access it. Anyone that needs to use it can access your content, and people can quickly get in and get out with what they need to do their job. So it saves you time and it saves your employees time. Reputation, this is a really cool feature too. This allows you to link it to your Google business, and you can optimize your profile with Google business. So it'll automatically optimize your full Google business profile, which can help you rank on SEO a lot more. This is something we set up for clients also. So if you are interested, you can reach out to us. But we do all of your Google business optimization, and it allows you to set up review requests to leads that you have, which you can filter based on if they had a good experience. So you can ask them using an email or a text message, did they have a good experience with us? If they reply yes, we'll then send them the review request. So we're not sending people that had a bad experience a review request. So it allows us to kind of filter our reviews and really get the people that had a good experience to leave us a review. So this is a really cool feature. You'll be able to see all of the requests that you sent, the widgets that you've built, the listings and the settings. So it just lets you keep a full overview of how your Google business profile is operating. And if you are a local or a home service business, this is super important for your business, because the better reviews, the higher you're going to rank, and also the better you have your profile optimized, the better your business is going to operate online when it comes to SEO and ranking above your competitors. So super important for you if you are a home service business. Highly recommend getting HighLevel just for this. Reporting, this is a section that I love because I'm a numbers nerd and I love to build out the ads and check the analytics on what we're doing for clients. You can set up a custom report, so this will pull from all of the different sections on the platform. Google Ads will give you a full report on Google Ads, so you'll be able to track everything that's going on in the business. This is all demo data at the moment, so it's all just demo information on fake campaigns. But if these were real campaigns, you'd have all of that information inside the platform. So you'll see the cost, the revenue, return on investment, the clicks, and you can move this around and edit it to fit your business. And as I said, you can pull those reports customized for all of these sections. Facebook keeps track of all of your Facebook information, meaning you don't even need to open the platform. Attribution report, this is going to let you know where the leads are coming from and which platform they're attributed to. Call report, this is something that I check every day with our appointment setting. So we check how many calls are incoming, how many calls are outgoing, so how many calls we're actually doing. This allows you to keep track of your agents, or your sales agents, or your team, how many calls they're taking in, how long the calls are, what's the average call time, what's the average call duration overall, and how many in volume they're doing. So this is super important for me to keep track of, and for your business, if you have sales reps, this is super important to keep track of too. Appointment report, this will keep track of all the bookings. So the booking that we made earlier in the video is the only one on this demo account. You can filter by the time frame, and it keeps track of your overall business. So we have clients that have thousands of bookings. We can keep track of how many were booked, how many were cancelled, confirmed, how many were new. If the sales team are using it effectively, they will choose that the booking call showed, and if they showed, we can keep track of that. How many no showed, and it gives us a good bulk of information on the business, of how it's operating and what's going on with it. Local marketing audit basically goes into the local marketing, so checks over what you're doing in the local market that you're in, and lets you keep track of everything that you're doing in the business. So the reporting section, again, super important, especially if you are the business owner, or if you're the manager, or if you're the marketing manager of a company. This will save you a lot of time. This saves me a lot of time with client reports. It saves me time jumping in and checking what's going wrong with an account, what ads are not doing well, what ads are doing well, what appointment setter isn't doing well, and what we need to work on. So in your business, it allows you to do the same before your sales team, all of your reports, exporting all your accounts, and really lets you know where you should be spending your money better. So again, another great feature of the platform. The final tab is the marketplace apps, and this is where you can find a bunch of apps on the platform. If you've watched this far in the video, I really appreciate it. I'd love if you could comment down below and subscribe. I know a lot of people have been asking for a really long video just explaining the overall platform, so I hope you have enjoyed this video so far, and if you have got value from it, leave a thumbs up on the video, as it would help me out a lot to reach 1,000 subscribers. But marketplace apps really simply is a marketplace, a bunch of different apps for different uses. You can get closing bots, you can get AI that will send messaging, again, voice AI that's maybe better than the one that's in GoHighLevel. We don't use any marketplace apps for any client. We've never really had a reason to use any of this. What I found is, if there is a popular marketplace app, GoHighLevel will usually build it within a month. If there's something that GoHighLevel does not have and it's in an app, they usually build it inside GoHighLevel within a month, and it gets redundant. I usually recommend not to use any apps. The only one that I've seen that's popular is My CRM Sim. This allows you to have multiple different SIM cards and different phone numbers that are mobile phones, so it allows you to send iMessage and WhatsApp messaging, whereas getting the phone numbers on GoHighLevel can be pretty tricky. You need to do A2P verification, but I have a full video on that, so you can check that out too. But again, as I mentioned, I don't really use any of the marketplace apps, and that's a full kind of overview on GoHighLevel. So I hope you enjoyed the full video. If you did, as I mentioned, I'd love if you could subscribe, leave a like or a comment down below, or add any questions that you want to ask me, anything I can help you guys with. Hopefully you enjoyed the full overview, and I appreciate that you watched the video so long. I think this is over 1 hour long, so my longest video on the channel, but I thought I would have a pretty long video to come back in 2026, and I look forward to making a lot more content. The agency is growing. We're having a lot more clients reach out to us. A lot of you guys from YouTube have reached out for help, and I appreciate all the help that I've given last year, and I loved working with all you guys. And anyone else that needs help, you can reach out to my agency, or if you're watching the videos to learn, I really hope that I'm explaining things well and you're learning from the videos. Again, have a great new year, happy new year, and a happy 2026, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.